Hey guys, welcome back to another Scratch tutorial. Today I will be teaching you how to use the blocks in the My Blocks category. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, so first thing first, what you want to do is make a block, call it FadeIn. Now you can choose run without screen refresh, but that won't work well for this one. Run without screen refresh, what it does is it doesn't show you the process of how it happens, it just immediately cuts to the end, but we want to see the process of how it happens. So turn it on and make another block called Fade Out. So now as you can see, you have these tap blocks. You might not know what they mean, but they just requires you to define your block. So this is how we're going to do that. Grab a repeat for both of them, and then get a change the ghost effect by 10%, and for this one, change ghost effect, not color effect. Although the color effect is fun. But what we want is to change the ghost effect by -10. So what this does is, let's grab a when flag clicked, let's get this when up arrow key pressed and when down arrow key pressed. When up arrow key pressed, fade in, and when down arrow key pressed, fade out. So what this is going to do is, it's going to run this code as a block, so it just shortens your code. So let's see what happens. Up arrow, down arrow, up arrow, down arrow. Now, if we were to do this, if we were to run this without screen refresh, this is what would happen. It would immediately appear instead of having the whole fade out sequence. It would just, well, literally just pop in. It won't be any special. It would just be like the hide and show. Now, let me show you something else you can do with this. So let's just clean up our blocks and make a new one. Let's call this fade number of times. Okay, and then add an input. So these are inputs and booleans. They're pretty much the same as like the x position, y position variables. I'll touch on to this later. So fade number of times, repeat times, and then another text label, and change amount. And don't run it without screen refresh, run it with screen refresh. And now you have this. Now as you can see, the block itself has these holes, and let's just type in like 10 and 10. But as you can see, nothing happens because we don't have a definition for our block yet. This is how we're going to do it. So grab this, duplicate it, put it in here, and now what you want to do is drag the repeat times and change amount into these. These are basically inputs. So now if you grab your fade block, you, instead of going through all this block creating thing, you can just type these inputs into your block. So we want it to fade in, right? So let's say 10, -10, and duplicate this. We want to fade out 10, 10. We're basically copying this and this and this and this into these blocks, but it's much easier now because now we can control the change amount. The other one we can't. It's already defined into the blocks. But with this one, we can control it because we have our inputs to control it with. So let's see. As you can see, it works much better now. And we can do other values like 20 and 5. And then 20 and -5. So let's try that. Depending on your values, it will go faster or slower. So let's see. 5, 20. Oh, and by the way, these have to, when you multiply them by each other, they have to add up to 20. So if you want to do 4, it has to be 25, 5, it has to be 20, 10, it has to be 10, 1, it has to be 100, 50, it has to be 2. So, yeah, I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So then we have these. Let's try this out. And as you can see, this one's much faster because the values are greater. Well, only on one side. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. This has been Scratch Tutorials. Peace.